The Phoenix Suns end the preseason 3-1. Khaman Maluach is him. Rasheer Fleming is here. And Jared Butler, you deserve an apology. Psychos and sickos unite for a 3-in-1 edition of PHNX Suns presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHNX365. Deposit 10. Place a bet for 5 and get $200 in bonus bets. I am Erik. That is Espo. We got the Freckled Mamba, a.k.a. Ayrton behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. Steven will be joining us later, calling in from the morgue as the Phoenix Suns put the Lakers to rest in their preseason finale, 113-104. Khaman Maluach with by far and away his best game as a Phoenix Sun, coming in his first start in the NBA. Rasheer Fleming showed flashes. Jared Butler was hooping. We got a lot to get into. I will issue an apology, but how are you feeling, Espo?
It's time to send the Lakers fishing. Season's over.
Already.
I mean, we're 2-0, I mean, in non-counting games. But 1-0 when our starters didn't even touch the court. When our second string didn't even touch the court.
Yeah.
Suck it, Luka.
Yeah, that's the postgame show.
I get excited.
Suck it, Luka, because, yeah, you're right. Not only did the starters not play, but then the next 5 didn't play either. Your starting lineup tonight was Jared Butler, Jordan Goodwin, Nigel Hayes-Davis, Rasheer Fleming, and Khaman Maluach. Mm-hmm. And look, I am a man of integrity, despite what a lot of people might think.
I could agree with that.
I am a man of morals, and I am a man who will raise his hand and admit when he is wrong. And I'm talking to nobody else except for you, Jared Butler.
Oh, I thought you were apologizing to me.
No.
Right.
This is for Jared.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You were hooping today. Absolutely hooping. Not just scoring, but your playmaking was crisp. Your defensive intensity was there. I felt like you found the right pockets to attack and when not to attack. Felt like you were a completely different player than before. And I will acknowledge that I was wrong about you. Even though in my thing I did say you could hoop. But you really showed up, shut me up, shut up all the doubters. You played incredible today. So hand up. I'm sorry, Jared Butler.
In the 4th preseason game. I'm just saying.
I mean, but I hated on him for what was before.
Well, I mean,
so I'm going to apologize.
That was your problem, hating on a guy for a preseason game, too. But, I mean, we talked about in pregame. What was it going to be? The Butler and Goodwin show.
And it was.
They combined for 24 of 46 with 59 points, 15 assists, and 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Yeah. Those 2 guys went out there and said, look, I've got an opportunity to try to prove I belong on this roster, and both of them took advantage of it. I get that Butler had more points, but this was another good showing for Jordan Goodwin as well. It wasn't like he went out and just played horribly. Well, Jared Butler balled out. I love that we're sitting here debating likely the 15th guy on the roster who will get that spot, but that's what tonight was about. It was about that and watching youth show what that potential could be.
26 shots for Jared Butler, 20 shots for Jordan Goodwin. Every time I hear it, every time I say it, it's 46 shots.
This is what the
That's
offense...
46 shots!
But to be fair, it's preparing us for what the backcourt will look like when you have Jalen Green and Devin Booker there.
And we'll get to that.
They combined 46 shots between the 2.
Listen, I think that it's fair to say, yes, it's just preseason. And you could say that about everything that we've talked about over now the last 4 games, including tonight. Mm-hmm. But this team and these players have all shown discernible flashes in this preseason. And that is the number one thing that you need to see is flashes.
Yes.
I get it. We're not going to crown this team the best team in the NBA. They're not going to have a 3-1 winning percentage. Are you going to do that? You're going to crown them the best team in the NBA?
No.
It seemed like you wanted to do that.
No, I was saying I love you to my daughter.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. No.
That is the more reasonable thing to say.
I'm not.
I'm kidding.
I will crown you the best team against the Lakers in the preseason. I'm willing to do that.
Hey, listen, this is a team that when you break down all the things you saw in this preseason, if they can continue to build on that when they eventually get Jalen Green out, which we got some bad injury news from him that we'll go over at the end of the show, when you get Mark Williams back, this team is starting to look more and more complete. But back to tonight instead of just the big picture. Let's just jump right into it. We already mentioned Jared Butler, so let's just go ahead and name our big, bright, shining star, presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. It is Jared Butler, and he deserved it. Listen, he took 26 shots, but my lord, he hit 14 of them. 5 of 10 from deep. Only thing was 2 of 6 from the free throw line. 35 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds for him. Now the conversation goes, Espo, and I know you touched on this. Jordan Goodwin versus Jared Butler. Obviously, tonight, they played similar games as they were scoring options, but realistically on this roster, they'll fill different roles. Where would you lean as to who this Suns team might need more in that last roster spot? A defensive guy in Jordan Goodwin, or a playmaking guard in Jared Butler?
I don't think either are going to make a huge difference unless you believe that the Jalen Green hamstring thing might play out. But you're looking at a guy that's the break glass in case of emergency. And in that, I probably want a guy that's more defensive focused, to be honest, because I might need that a little bit more at times. I'm going to have scorers on this roster. I'm going to have guys I can turn to there. But do I need a little extra help defensively? And it's not that Jordan Goodwin isn't a guy that can offensively put it up there too. 24 points tonight as well on 50% shooting. So I might lean more towards the guy that gives me both.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is Jared Butler can bring you a skill that, let's say you don't have a Colin Gillespie or you are missing a Jalen Green, that Jared Butler's skill set is probably a little bit more needed in that break class in case of emergency, which is the role that whatever fills that roster spot they will be, which is break class in case of emergency. You could just see Jordan Goodwin slotting in for more players, right? If you need him to play a little bit bigger alongside Green and Booker, you can. I can't really imagine Jared Butler defensively playing next to Booker and Green. You need somebody to play next to Colin and his playmaking. Well, I think Jordan Goodwin slides into that as well. If the scoring and the shooting can carry over, which is a huge if with him. We kind of felt the same way when he was traded here with Bradley Beal.
He did it with the Lakers.
He did.
For part of
he
his
got
time
cut
last year. But again, we're talking the end of a roster guy, and I'd like to have two-way potential of that. But that's not. Jared Butler deserves a spot in this league.
Absolutely, I agree.
Never a doubt on that. I just don't know that the fit is on this roster, but he will wind up somewhere. And a game like tonight, whether it earned him a spot on the Suns or it was his audition for some other team, it will get him a slot, a guaranteed slot on somebody's roster, I imagine.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Jared Butler is an NBA player. And I listen, even when I was hating on him before, I literally said in my rant, you're making me mad because I know you're an NBA player. He's shown that he's an NBA player.
It kills me that you got out of dude for preseason basketball.
Come on. If I'm going to give him,
I'm
going to heap praise on him tonight the same way that I heaped hate on him before. And also, like, listen, that's just who I am. I understand that big picture, none of this really matters, but I'm still going to be in the moment. It's the only basketball that I've had with this team.
But I'm
going to be in the moment about it.
Then you got to be an equal opportunity hater and give Nigel Hayes-Davis
we're going to talk about Nigel.
Okay.
Nigel hasn't been good. We're going to talk about Nigel.
Can I
talk about the good stuff first?
Can I talk about one thing?
Yeah, this bad thing.
Ayrton, can you throw that up? The NBA app, apparently, when you opened it up tonight, showed Luka pours in 25 in preseason as the Suns win by 9. I get it. I'm part of the game. I understand that you got to try to draw people in. But really? Luka in a preseason game that they lost? You couldn't give any love to Khaman Maluach? You couldn't say Jared Butler breaks out, or the Butler did it with 35 tonight. Like, put a little effort in. I get it's preseason for you too, but put a little effort in there, NBA. Like, were you using our friend JJ Redick's best friend ChatGPT just to create this for you? Put in a little effort.
ChatGPT, how can I stop Jared Butler from torching my ass? That was JJ Redick during one of his timeouts. Isai says, hey, my screenshot made the pod. Thank you for the screenshot. We appreciate that.
Yes, that was sent via Twitter, and I appreciate it because that was ridiculous that was the way that it came up in that app. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Obviously, because like you mentioned, Khaman Maluach played so well tonight. So why not give out 2 big, bright, shining stars presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos? How could it not? How could it not be Khaman Maluach Espo? It wasn't just the stats, it was how he got them. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 8 of 10 from the field, 1 of 1 from deep. Khaman Maluach in 31 minutes tonight in his first career start. I get it was preseason, but showed every single asset of a top 10 pick that you wanted to see out of a big man, and it is hard not to get excited about that tantalizing potential.
But look, you wanted this tonight for him. We talked about it in pregame, how for a guy that's used to starting, maybe coming off the bench in the way he was, and later in those preseason games kind of threw him off. This was an opportunity to be in a rhythm, and I appreciated what I saw. Tonight was a glimpse of what the future will be with Khaman Maluach. I don't think it's a straight line to get there, though. I think there will be ups and downs this season when it comes to Khaman Maluach. But 2 things you can't deny is his energy and his effort, and you're going to have that game in, game out. Also, he is a very mature guy, and when asked at post-game by Amanda Pflugrad if he was tired after the trip back from China, he said tired's just in the mind. And to me, it reminds me a lot of the maturity that Devin Booker came in with. But Khaman Maluach is a kid that's only been playing, I believe, 4 years of organized basketball at this point. So I think he's going to play a role in terms of minutes, but he's probably 3rd right now on that depth chart behind Mark Williams and Oso Ighodaro. And Nick Richards right now, you go, I don't know where he slots in, but Khaman showed that potential. I liked what I saw. It was easy to get extremely excited for it. I just don't want people to expect that to be what he does night in, night out, but I think we're going to eventually get there. And he freaking destroyed DeAndre Ayton in today's game. And shout out to Kev in the chat who gave him the nickname during our watch along, the Watchtower.
The Watchtower.
I am all in on Khaman Maluach being the Watchtower. I love it.
Here's what impressed me the most from Khaman. It wasn't the rim-shaking dunks. It wasn't blocking DeAndre Ayton's dunks. It wasn't the three-pointer. It was the little things. One of the big little things was he had a lob thrown over him early in the game, and the Lakers connected on it. They tried to do that multiple times afterwards, and he played the drop perfectly and broke up multiple lob passes. It was the defensive presence on a fast break where he ran the floor so fast that he kept up with Austin Reeves, who knew that this rookie was behind him and had a wide open, quote, wide open layup, and decided not to go and dribble out because he knew Khaman was going to be there to at least alter the shot. Guys were driving into the paint and they were going out of the paint instead of putting up shots. They were having to throw up extremely high floaters because of his size. He was in the right place at the right time. Now, he also hit a layup off the dribble, finished an alley-oop on his own, hit a three-pointer, set some good screens, like initiated a little bit of offense as well, and had some monster blocks. You know, if you can have a guy that is that big, that is that long, and is that athletic, do all the little things, play the right way, and attack the rim hard, the floor is so high. It's so high.
Well, you look at it, and if we were to have scripted out the game you wanted to see from him, this would have been exactly what you said in all facets, right? And you did not see him getting caught, up in the air on plays defensively. He was that rim protector that we've heard about. Yeah, some of it was against, the Lakers backups, but it was a lot of time against DeAndre Ayton with Luka in the game, with Austin Reeves in the game, and he played very, very well. I was very encouraged by what we saw, and I imagine by the end of the season, we will see games close to that in the regular season, probably in a backup role. I don't think it'll be a straight line, but tonight was a fantastic performance for the Watchtower.
Yeah, and I mean, multiple people in the chat pointing out how strong he looks. He looked stronger than DeAndre Ayton. And I'm not even trying to say that to hate on DeAndre Ayton, but he is a starting center on a team that has playoff aspirations, has Luka Doncic, LeBron James. They went out there and they got themselves DeAndre Ayton because they wanted DeAndre Ayton. And Khaman Maluach outplayed him in a couple of minutes last game and outplayed him to a big extent in this game. And if this guy can turn out to be who the Suns need him to be, a top 10 pick, a top 5 pick as a big man to pair alongside Devin Booker as he enters the middle of his prime and eventually the end of his prime, if they keep Jalen Green and have Jalen Green as he enters his prime, well, the perfect complement to those guys is a center that can do it all like Khaman Maluach. And maybe, and I know it's preseason and it's a long shot, but maybe this is the big man that you've been waiting to draft with a high pick and pair alongside Devin Booker throughout his career.
I don't know that it's necessarily a long shot, to be honest. I just think it will take the time to develop, and you start to see the vision. A lot of people laughed at the Suns this offseason.
Yeah.
And sure, it's not going to result in a championship contender this year, but you see the vision of what they're trying to accomplish, what they hope to accomplish. You understand what alignment looks like on a basketball court. You understand why they drafted a center and traded for a center on draft night. You see why they traded up to get Rasheer Fleming, and you look at why you're understanding why they hired Jordan Ott and the system. Everybody wanted to laugh at, Michigan State this, and no draft picks, and they're going to get owned in a trade. And instead, you look at it and you go, I'm starting to understand the vision. Does it come to fruition fully? I don't know. But you can at least understand what they were trying to do and understand why some of us looked at it and went, you can laugh now, but this might not be what you're painting this out to be. So.
Let me say this. I believe, right? And I'm just saying that there are going to be people who say, well, it's just one preseason game. And I don't think you can obviously make career projections off of one preseason game.
I mean, you can. You'd be wrong.
But I've been saying it since the pre-draft process about Khaman Maluach and Rasheer Fleming, who we'll touch on here in a second, that these are two guys, if the Suns walked away with one of them in the draft, it was a massive win. They walked away with both and the best shooter in the draft. Everybody saw how hyped we were. That was the first time it really felt like for Suns fans that the tides had begun to turn in that NBA draft because we were excited and it felt like, okay, the process that this team is operating with, what they're trying to build, well, it makes sense. It was the first time things started to make sense. I think Khaman has a chance to be the starting center by the end of this season because he earned it. Yeah, I think it's not the most likely thing, but you saw what you saw tonight. If he could extrapolate that, at least 80% of it through the entire season and stay healthy, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be the starting center. And I love Mark Williams in theory, but I think that's on the table for Khaman.
I agree with Charles. I need to see more. That's of course. You can't base everything on it, but the potential made sense. And you go from one of the oldest teams in the NBA. They may have actually been the oldest team in the NBA last year to, I believe, they're the fourth youngest team now. Yeah. And you've got four young guys that you look at in Fleming, Khaman, Oso, and Dunn that appear to, at least right now, have a large part of your future. So that's why there's the excitement about this too, is you go, okay, I see where apparently all hope was lost. There was no chance that you could get any young talent. And all of a sudden you have it. And then you add in Jalen Green, which we'll talk about the hamstring later, but then that's another 23-year-old. Mark Williams is 23 as well. There is youth here, and there's opportunity and promise. Now you just got to live up to it.
Yeah. Listen, and by the way, just to clarify, Charles was talking about needing to see more from Ott, not just about the team in general.
I mean, in general, I still feel like I need to see a lot from from a lot of people. Jordan not still, yeah, you got to prove it. Okay, you can scheme in some preseason games. That's great, but
it's all we have so far. It's all we have.
I mean, yeah, that's the first 4 games we've seen Jordan Ott as a head coach, and I liked what I saw so far.
Yeah, listen, I have a thought on that and about how maybe we can judge Jordan Ott after this preseason, and of course, we'll be talking about our PHNX factor, other standouts of this game, and maybe some other lowlights from this game. Plus, Jalen Green's injury status is he re-aggravated his hamstring strain, according to Jordan Ott. What Mark Williams' injury status is looking like as well. And we officially begin the build-up to the regular season. Plus, Stephen Prejean Garner will be calling in from the morgue. We're going to get into all of it after our first break.
First off, Ayrton, I need to know what a Goofenschmitz is. We can talk about that later. But what I really want to talk to you about is branded bills. Me love branded bills. Me love hats. I have hats on hats on hats. So many hats. And now I have multiple branded bills because I love them. They are breathable. They are fantastic. You can customize them. We have PHNX ones, Suns ones. There are all the college ones, ASU, U of A, GCU. Me love branded bills. They are the best that are out there. I agree, Nookie. It is unbelievable what branded bills has. The amount of different hats that they have to offer. The quality is second to none. It is unbelievable. Me agree. And they have over 40 collegiate partnerships. You love it. Best part though, me love that they are local. Born in Mesa, now in Tempe. Unbelievable. I agree, Nookie. And I said to him, you know what? We got to take care of our audience. I need to get at least a discount from them. And they said 10%. And I said, no. Oh, what'd you say? I say, I need 15% for these people. They gave it to me. Use promo code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. Use the link in the description to get that.
Clearly, Espo, you live your life by what Gila lives their lives by, which is you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. At any of their 4 locations, you can be impersonating a Nookie Monster as much as you want. At Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vequiva, Santan Mountain, it's the best experience the Valley has to offer. Whether it's the AAA 4-star Diamond Resorts, over 4,500 slots and live table games on their gaming floor, or you can catch any of the action at their sports books. Plus, don't even get me started on
me love food. Action.
You love action. You also love the food as well, from upscale to approachable, casual to classy, bar to bar none. Check out Gila River Resorts and Casinos. They have set the bar high, and they continue to smash it. You do you. At Gila River Resorts and Casinos, visit playatgila.com for more details. Shout out to that review guy, Jeff Blazer, Carlos Diaz, Jackie Daytona, Aiden, who says Goofenschmerz is Aiden language for goofball.
Well, I mean, that's accurate.
Matrix, Hidden Sun Village, Kev, oh for sure, Bryn Tannehill. We have all the stars out in chat tonight, of course, including Meatloaf as well. Thank you all so much for being here. Go ahead and hit that like button while you are here for our final preseason postgame show. If you're new, we will do a pregame and postgame show for all 82 of the Suns games in the regular season, plus, of course, that deep playoff run that they'll be doing, plus live watch-alongs, way more often than last season. Not every game, but a couple times a week. We'll be watching the game live with you right here on this very channel. You can also become a member today as well. Get experience custom emojis. If you hit the Hall of Fame level, you get access to exclusive videos as well. The join button right next to that subscribe button, which I know you all already hit.
By the way, shout out to Bryn. You mentioned her, but shout out to her. Fun follow on social. We don't always agree on Suns takes or sports takes, but a great follow on social.
All right. We've talked about Jared Butler, deservedly so, and Jared Butler has gotten an apology. We gave out a big, bright, shining star to Khaman Maluach.
The biggest.
The number 10 overall pick. The 9'8", standing reach, big, bright, shining star.
Hope.
Espo, it's time to go for the PHNX factor, and it has to be the other rookie.
Oh, a rookie. I thought
not a nookie, okay. But another rookie that started tonight. Rasheer Fleming is your PHNX factor for a multitude of reasons, but just by the numbers. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 stocks. 3 of those rebounds are offensive. 3 of 7 from deep on the night in 31 minutes. Not the most incredible stats in the box score, Espo, but the eye test, especially defensively for Rasheer Fleming, immaculate.
Yeah, counting stats sometimes aren't going to tell you the full picture. That's why the eye test is important, why analytics always isn't the answer. And for me, Rasheer Fleming, like you said, was everywhere. You saw how that length is going to be so important in his ability to play defense. Some of his defense was what led to offense for other people as well. This is a kid that has a lot of potential, and that, again, you felt very hopeful with it. You saw the hustle, you saw the effort, and these are things that have become cornerstones of what the Suns want their culture and who they are to be. And these young guys are helping define that. And while Rasheer, I don't think out the gates again will be a guy that's going to play major minutes, he will play impactful minutes when he does, and that role will grow. And if Nigel Hayes-Davis continues to struggle, there's an opening for Rasheer Fleming to get additional minutes out there just because of that effort and the offensive potential that he has.
Rasheer Fleming, I think, has the potential to be a starter for this team this year as well. You know me, I'm the world's biggest Ryan Dunn fan. I think what Dillon Brooks brings is great. Rasheer Fleming has the same wingspan as Khaman Maluach. And at the same time, he probably has one of the quickest jump shots on the team. That three-point shot was extremely smooth tonight. The multiple defensive efforts, the recovering, he's had multiple recovery blocks now in his limited minutes in preseason before even tonight. The hustle, the instincts, the everything. Even some of the flashes of playmaking and dribbling where he would have the ball and he would be operating in the middle of the court. He dribbled through a couple guys and he would find Jared Butler out there on the left wing. He's fast, he's athletic, and it's not like he's just that. It feels like his head is on right too. He knows where to be, and with a body like that, with athleticism like that, and a skill set like that, usually the thing that's missing in a lot of guys is, well, do you understand where you should be? He was in the right place at the right time, defensively and offensively. I would have taken this kid with the top 20 pick. Suns got him at the start of the second round.
With some brilliant maneuvering to get
absolutely
there.
Brilliant.
And tonight, when you see what he does, you understand why they were so desperate to get up to 31, because I believe it was Boston had that 32nd pick and said that they would have taken him there.
Mm-hmm.
They understand the potential he has. Potential is the word of the season other than alignment this year. And it's, as we know, potential can be extremely wasted. We got a reminder tonight when we saw our old friend DeAndre Ayton. We know it with Josh Jackson and the Dragan Benders of the world. And potential can be wasted. But right now, you're banking on the potential of Rasheer Fleming, what you saw trading up for him, and the flashes that you've seen in preseason. And I said this to you during the watch-along. It may not be the minutes that these guys get in the regular season games that determine what their role is going to be. It may be that effort, that heart, that hustle in practice that winds up earning them the additional minutes. That's where the work, the effort, the potential is gonna come in big for these guys, is what they do behind those closed doors in those practices and how they wind up impressing Jordan Ott to try to get those minutes.
So we all know that Dillon Brooks has said that there's a villain junior on the Suns team. And he re-emphasized today that it's not Ryan Dunn. I think the two rookies that we just talked about.
He said it wasn't Rasheer.
He said it wasn't Rasheer? Then I think it's Khaman.
So it wasn't Dunn, it wasn't Rasheer.
I think it's Khaman.
I still think it's Colin Gillespie.
I think Colin's in my top three. I think it's Khaman. I think Khaman played with a real mean streak tonight. I think they all seem like great guys, and seeing them out at Summer League, we were out there. Obviously, Khaman is this big, bright bulb of energy. When he's out there, he's always talking. We obviously got to talk to Kobe as well and just see how Rasheer interacts with the team. And they all seem like really nice guys. But the way that Khaman played with that hustle and that heart and that oomph about him, I think Khaman is definitely in my top three rankings for who's villain junior. I think Colin is definitely up there as well.
I think it's probably Khaman or Colin, and I could be sold on the idea that it's Khaman because he did say that it might be surprising, a little surprising. So I could see that, but you know what I love about this is people have been guessing on this, and it's not one or two guys that they think it could be. There's a lot of guys, and I think that speaks again to the culture that they're building, right? That we can't tell who's villain junior because they all have a little bit of that dog in them that could be that guy that goes out there and does that, because they're all doing the dirty work. And I love that about it. And Dylan did say he's going to tell us before opening night who it is, so the investigation will stop. We don't have to call Pablo Torre to start digging in and figuring out who it is. We will be told within the next week. And I think it's probably going to be one of those two guys. I'll still stick with Colin because that's where I've been, but it would not shock me if it's Khaman.
Bro, what if it's like Jesse Mermies? Lead assistant for the Suns.
What if he's like, no, it's Jordan Ott.
It's Jordan Ott. It's Jordan Ott. Speaking of Jordan Ott, we're going to hear from Jordan Ott. He's got comments on Jared Butler, Khaman Maluach, and his overall assessment of the Suns' preseason win number 1 at home. We're going to get to that. We'll get to buy the numbers, and we'll hear from Steven live from the morgue. We'll get to all of that right after our second break. Every time I walk into a rally house, I walk out impressed, and it happens every time because I'm always getting a new collection. But I remember the first time that I walked into Rally House at Tempe Marketplace on a whim of my own. I said, this place looks great. It was years ago. I walked in, I saw every sports piece of gear I could possibly want, from shirts to pants to hats to signage to coolers to socks and even sunscreen. They had it all.
Socks.
Exactly.
Right.
They had it all at Rally House.
Not that socks.
And they carry only Arizona sports teams too, which is very near and dear and personal to me. And this Friday, you can come hang out with me at the Tempe Marketplace location at Rally House for PHNX Sun Devils live show. Again, 5:30 Friday night. Me, Anthony Totri, Shane Diefenbach at Rally House. And you can check out all the amazing collections that Rally House has there. And you can also shop online. Their entire product assortment, hundreds of pages, at www.rallyhouse.com. Become a better dressed fan today. www.rallyhouse.com.
And he buried the lead. I'm going to be there on Friday as well, handing out gift cards.
Oh, so $50 gift cards.
Come out and find me while you're out there. I got to tell you about our friends at Bet365. Well, Erik and I didn't hit our bets from preseason. It's preseason for both of us as well. Didn't mean we didn't have fun with it. And we had fun because we know what over 90 million users worldwide know. That Bet365 is fantastic, and it's never ordinary when you use them. Early payouts across the NBA and NHL. So you bet on a team. If they go up, you're going to win, right? It's that simple the way it is. They've got live in-game betting because they pioneered it, right? And they've got the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. I can admit I didn't know there were 78 sports.
I bet on Russian badminton on Bet365.
I have bet on some weird stuff as well there. I bet on cricket once. That's how deep you can get into it. So highly recommend that you join Bet365 today, because breaking news, Bet365 new customers now get 200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up using that promo code PHNX365. Deposit 10 and place a bet for $5 to get 200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and whatever the moment. It's never ordinary with Bet365. You got to remember that. Must be 21 and over, physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text up to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov.
Thank you all so much for being here right now. Everybody hanging out, enjoying post-preseason hoops. The regular season starts on Wednesday. We'll be here for the rest of this week, live at 3 p.m. And then leading you up next week, live at 3 until our pre- and post-game show on Wednesday. And then we're back to it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you become a member today, like O for sure, and Deborah in the chat who have that green name. Of course, Jeff, who just left and went to bed. Good night, Jeff. Also a member as well. They get access to exclusive emojis, and we're adding more Suns ones soon. So thank you all so much for being here.
I saw a request for a Nookie monster. We might have to get working on that.
We might have to do
Drop
that.
Nookie.
I have a request to hear from the head coach of the PHNX Suns, Jordan Ott, and his overall assessment of the Suns' win at home.
Talked about it, before the game, even here, just you never know how the season's going to go. I've had before games be canceled, rescheduled, go across the country on a back-to-back. You never know. So just our group's not going to make an excuse. Just go out and compete, see what happens. Because both parts, like the guys that were in uniform and the guys that weren't in uniforms, showed we do have this thing coming together as one. And the joy and the spirit of competing, it doesn't matter where it is. That's what we got to find.
Doesn't matter where it is, this team has to come together as one. He also said this team is not going to make excuses for themselves. I think tonight, Espo just continued to cement what we've seen in this preseason. The Phoenix Suns have an identity. They fell down again, and defense, grit, and hustle brought them back into it with their third-string players against starters for the Lakers. That's the identity of this team. It's the John Cena farewell tour. Never give up. Hustle, loyalty, respect. That's the Phoenix Suns.
And it's the NBA, so it's scripted. Oh, wait, never mind. That's
fair enough.
not.
What do you mean wrestling isn't scripted?
I love that we heard an actual answer from a coach instead of no, and then I'm not going to answer. No. It's very clear. I mean, this team could have used the excuse of we got back from China a day ago, right? A 14-hour flight after being in China for a week. You could have easily gotten blown out by 50, and nobody would have batted an eye with everything going on. And I love the attitude of it. Doesn't matter. There's no excuses. We're going to go out there and whatever we're up against, we're going to put in our best effort every time. And maybe it won't lead to a win, but we're going to go out there and the standard's the standard, right? We're not going to lower the standard just because of something, no, the standard is the standard. And I appreciate that. Leadership sometimes has to do that. And I like that Jordan Ott has made that very clear to these guys. And they went out and played like that tonight. Now we need to see it in the regular season. We need to see it when odds are against them, whether it's injuries or whatever the case may be. Got to do it then. But that I appreciated, and I like the mindset that they're going in with.
Yeah, I like the mindset as well. We'll hear more about what Jordan Ott had to say about Khaman, about Rasheer, about Jared when Steven joins us later in the show. He'll be able to relay that with crystal clear audio. So why not get into something we can get into, which is By the Numbers, presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Espo, great numbers.
Beautiful numbers. I mean, 102 attempts tonight.
That is a lot of attempts.
102. You had 21 more shot attempts than the Lakers, and you still shot almost a full 2% better than them. You shot 46% to the Lakers 44.4%. Suns shot 38% from deep on 42 attempts. You had 10 more attempts from deep. This is another thing that we're seeing this preseason is the Suns are pulling from beyond the arc, which was not something we saw consistently last year. Lakers only shot 34% free throw shooting. I still got a lot of questions about it. I still don't know how you miss 5 of them. You go 3 for 8. And you got to wonder, when the regular season comes around, I need to get to the line more. But Lakers were 75% on 28 attempts. Rebounding was in the Lakers' favor, 49-38. But the assists, the Suns moving that ball around an odd system at 27 of them, the Lakers 18.
Yeah, 12 steals for the Suns tonight, to the Lakers 7 as well. 8 blocks to the Lakers, to the Suns 3. Suns also outscored them points in the paint 52-48, but got outscored on fast break points. They also fouled more, and they did not have the largest lead of the night. Honestly, one of the other kind of lessons we've learned from the Suns is that they just find ways to win games. Like, you look at the numbers, sure, they put up 102 shots. That's a lot of shots, but they got out-rebounded by the Lakers. The Lakers blocked more shots. The Lakers basically almost tied them in points in the paint. Like, they had 5 less fouls.
But it was the defense that led to the offense with the steals, because there's 8 more steals for the Suns. 18.
5 more steals for the Suns. 12-7.
8 more turnovers that they forced than the Lakers, 18-10.
Well, and the Lakers, wow, what a surprise, guys. 28-21 from the line. What a surprise. The Lakers took 20 more free throws. The Suns took under 10 free throws tonight, and they won by 9 against the Lakers starters.
Yeah, I mean, tonight is a weird, obviously, outlier. I don't think we're going to see 8 attempts and shooting 30-some-odd% from
3 of 8 from the line.
But I think what is consistent is you're going to see this team play hard-nosed, scrappy defense, and that's going to lead to a lot of easy transition buckets as well, and lead to some lopsided field goal attempt numbers throughout the season. And that is part of what Jordan Ott basketball is going to be. That's part of why the effort, the grit, the hard-nosed players is what you want because you can do that. You can force those turnovers. You can lead to buckets. And that was not just tonight. It happened in China. It happened in that first Lakers game. That is what I think will be a hallmark of this team this year.
They also shot, like you mentioned, 10 more threes than the Lakers. That's a margin that the Suns, if we're going to talk about talent deficit, right, which obviously, like, the Suns didn't play their 10 top guys tonight, so you're clearly going to be in a talent deficit no matter what. I think a lot of people would put the Suns in a talent deficit against most teams in the Western Conference, right?
I think initially, at least.
At least initially, and that's why their over-under is so low, around 31.5, depending on where you look. But you go up against this Lakers team, you're going to be in a talent deficit. The Nuggets, the Thunder, the Rockets, the Clippers, like, you've got teams that on paper clearly have more talent than you. The great equalizer, and something that's obviously been bumping up in recent years in the NBA, is that three-point shot. Now, a big question has always been, can Phoenix shoot a good enough percentage to do that? And I think it's hard to take away when your starters aren't playing, but guess what? That OT game in Brooklyn that they ended up coming back and winning, they took 42 threes to Brooklyn's 29 threes. Okay, that's 13 more. We're talking double digits in now 2 games. And we go back to this first game against the Lakers. Well, how many threes did they attempt there? Guess what? It was 42 to 30. Actually, that's the same game I'm just looking at. They played the Lakers twice.
But
My bad.
I do believe it was.
I think it was
40s.
I think it was. It was 41 for the Suns, 35 for the Lakers. The great equalizer for this team has been three-point shots, and again, that arcs back to, pun intended, Jordan Ott's identity with this team. Usually the teams that shoot a lot of threes aren't the gritty, hustle teams, but if you can marry those two things together in the modern NBA, you're going to be able to, again, I've said this so many times, win games you're not supposed to win.
Well, yeah. I mean, you get additional three-point attempts. You get those easy looks in the lane and those lobs that we've seen. And that's modern basketball now. It's easy, high percentage shots near the rim and converting on your three-pointers. And, it's the 3 is greater than 2. The math easily maths, right? I mean, that's just the simplicity of it. And if they're going to get more threes and hit more threes like they have, that's going to be a winning philosophy throughout this year. And that is what Jordan Ott's been preaching, obviously.
And it's been a winning philosophy, and I get it. It's preseason. It is what it is. The only game that the Suns got out-attempted in three-pointers, well, you guessed it, Espo. It's the game they lost to the Brooklyn Nets, 111-109, 38-40 on three-point attempts, but they made 4 less than Brooklyn. If this team is going to overcome some of the deficiencies they have, it's going to come down to coaching. It's going to come down to bringing out the best in each individual player, which I also feel like we saw tonight with Jordan Goodwin alongside all these other players we've been talking about. The thing I love about Goody that he's also been showing was that three-point shot. And if he can hit that three-point shot consistently, then, hey, welcome to the rotation when needed, Jordan Goodwin.
Yeah, there's a wealth of possibilities in terms of what they can do. But I think the bones of Jordan Ott's system, we're seeing it. It is getting those three-pointers up. It's getting those easy baskets. It's playing hard-nosed defense. There will be things, obviously, that will adjust. We'll see new wrinkles. We'll see new sets. And we know that Steven will break all those down for us when we see them. But the basic principles are there that we've seen throughout this preseason.
We're going to get to Steven here in just a second. First, a super chat from Trevor. Trevor with a $1.99 super chat says, this team will surprise us this year. I think a lot of people are starting to turn around on maybe the doom and gloom that they felt in the offseason.
I think it depends on what your definition of surprise is. I think I've talked about it. They're going to be better than last year's team. More entertaining, but they'll have more wins. I think a surprise and a success is being a play-in team and maybe scaring a couple teams in that play-in. That is success to me. That's my bar is there. And if they exceed that, great. But I think they will surprise a hell of a lot of people nationally and some locally that are looking at that 31.5 over under and going, yeah, I might hit that under.
Yeah, well, I know one guy who's not hitting the under. Lock it in. And he's about to join us from the Mortgage Matchup Center, our own Steven Prejean. From the first home game of preseason, Steven, A win for the PHNX Suns, massive games from Khaman Maluach, Rasheer Fleming, and Jared Butler. What stood out to you in the preseason finale the most?
I mean, I think it's the determination from everybody that was in the rotation for today's game. Obviously, you didn't have, the top 8 to 9 guys playing, but what they had was the guys that were playing was the connectedness. They all had a certain type of belief, even after the rough start. And after their first time out, it pretty much was a different team, and they got settled in. And I think Jordan not mentioned it post game. They just had a certain type of urgency that they worked with, and I think that kind of showed as they worked their way back into the game, and then ultimately finished it with a win.
Steven, when you look at kind of what we've seen from Jordan Knott's system and what we saw tonight, we were talking about the discrepancy in three-point shooting and how it's been in favor for the Suns for most of the preseason. What do you think are kind of those mile markers that we saw that will be what we can expect from a Jordan Knott team, and how you feel that'll play out as we go along?
Yeah, it starts with the defensive end, and that's them being active with it. So it's not just being solid defensively, but finding opportunities to earn extra possessions. And I think that extra possessions part, they're touting as importantly as anything else, because simply put, if you get more shots on goal than your opponents while also taking away the amount of shots that they're able to get on goal, the math starts to work in your favor, even if you aren't the best shooting team from deep per se, or if you aren't a team that gets to the rim or to the free throw line as often as other teams. If you just simply get more opportunities on goal because you spend more time with the ball in your hands, kind of like in football, teams want to have the ball in their hands for as long as they possibly can. The way in basketball to do that is to maximize your 24 seconds, but also create more opportunities within that. And when they do that, they can operate more comfortably than not on the offensive end of the floor. And I feel like we saw a lot of that in today's game. Khaman Maluach was very impressive with his defense and drop coverage. Obviously dealing with Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, but also making sure that he's not allowing for someone like DeAndre Ayton to get behind him in his pick and roll coverage. And then obviously you got Rasheer Fleming flying around with all types of multiple efforts. Jordan Goodwin doing his job. Jared Butler staying solid at the point of attack as well. So they just had a compilation of efforts that kind of, for Espo's point, aligned with everything that is the coach and the front office desires to see from the team.
So, Steven, what we're going to need you to do here, because we're having some trouble with your audio, we have you turned up on our end. We're going to have you hang up and then call back maybe without the headphones, and we'll see if that's a little bit better. If not, then we'll get all the breakdown from you on tomorrow's show just because the people can't hear you that well. So we'll take a second. We'll give SPG a second to sort out that. Well, we appreciate everybody who is hanging out with us here on PHNX Suns. Espo, is there anything about tonight specifically maybe that you haven't been able to talk about tonight that you'd want to get into?
That, I don't want to, I know I've probably come off a little bit like a wet blanket in terms of not wanting to get too high on anything. Believe me, I'm mainlining the hopium like everybody else. I think that I'm excited about where it's headed. We have fallen into the trap of raising expectations higher than they should be in times. Last few years, they were raised for us based on the roster and then being disappointed. I want to keep some reality with it and understand there are extremely big reasons to be excited about this team and to be hopeful about these young guys, but have it with a little bit of those tempered expectations that there may be rough patches as these guys learn. And that does not make somebody a bust if Khaman Maluach has 2 bad games in a row. It takes time.
Well, I'm going to get some hopium, and I'm going to hope that a little bit of time has helped our audio situation. Let's go ahead and bring Steven back in. Preseason for all of us here, folks. We do appreciate everybody just hanging out with us and standing by as we try to figure this out. Steven, let's see your initial thoughts on the game, hopefully now in HD. And now I got nothing. I got nothing. I'm jinxing it. Are you muted on your end, Steven? Are you muted on your phone? No? All right.
Steven,
we're going to have to call it an L.
We'll get it all figured out, and we will figure it out.
You know, this is just a ploy by Espo and I to seem like the two smartest people on this podcast. We tried to silence
a low bar,
Steven.
And we know it's Ayrton that's the smartest guy on this
Well,
podcast.
we muted his mic, too. We muted everybody's mic.
Well, it's Ayrton and Steven that we know are the smartest guys.
Yeah,
you and I are in a battle for last.
Here we are, being stupid. Yeah, Sean, I hear you. Okay. We love Steven. We appreciate Steven. Make sure you follow Steven at StevenPG3. He'll be bringing you updates from the arena all year. It's going to be an extremely good time with him, and I promise you, by next Wednesday, we're going to have it all figured out. So don't you all worry. Get your jokes off now. We will get through it. Let's talk about some other players tonight, Espo, that we have not been able to dive into yet. Specifically on the more disappointing side of things, unfortunately, we celebrate so much of the good. We got to talk.
Do we have to?
No, we have to.
We've talked about so much bad over the last years.
So the stat line for this guy at the end of the game doesn't end up being too terrible. I'm talking about number 21, Nigel Hayes-Davis. 10 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist in 27 minutes tonight. 2 of 3 from deep before 12 from the field. It was a really rough start for him, and then it felt like he settled in as time went on. But I'd say a relatively disappointing preseason from a guy that all of us here at PHNX Suns were pretty high on.
It was a continuation, some of what we saw of what happened in the first 3 games early in this one. Yeah, he found his stroke a little bit from 3. He went 2 of 3 in the end, but I think he was pressing. We talked about that. I think he was pressing, and there probably is pressure knowing that you left a lucrative contracts in Europe to come and try to make it in the NBA again, and you're trying to prove yourself. I hope at one point tonight, Jordan Ott was just kind of pulled him over and said, it's okay. Just go out there and play within your game. You don't have to force things. Because it did seem like he got a little bit more comfortable as it went along and did some of those little things. But I think Rasheer's game today should have been a little bit of a wake-up call too, that there's not guaranteed minutes just because you're one of the few power forwards on this roster. There's going to be competition for those minutes. So you got to find that stroke and find it fast.
I definitely think there's something there for Nigel Hayes-Davis. You got to understand with this guy too. He has been in this prove it, scrap it mentality forever now. Mm-hmm. I mean, the last time he played in the NBA was literally last decade. And he's had to go on this journey overseas and rise his way to the top, always feeling like he had a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. He definitely has to still be feeling that right now, but also feeling the pressure of the fact that, hey, I got a guaranteed contract. I need to prove that this team that took a chance on me, that saw something in me and brought me back to the NBA, well, that they were right. And now you're here through 3 preseason games coming into tonight, and you haven't really seen those flashes you wanted to see. Now you're starting, and you know that you can do these things. You've done it a million times in your life, but you're right. He was just forcing it. But once he settled down, he hit some threes, he was in his rhythm, and he wasn't playing outside of his game. I think he was, 1 for 6 at the start of the game? Ends up being 4 for 12. That's not as bad.
No, he is a guy, we saw it when he was here when we talked with him, but then at media day as well, he's a guy that likes to tap into the nobody believes in me and use that. And I think sometimes you can overuse that as motivation. Psych yourself out a little bit, thinking about, I'm going out there and I'm going to prove somebody wrong. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just got to go out there and be you, right? Mm-hmm. Just play your game. Let it come to you. And we've seen a lot of athletes press, and when they finally let that kind of go a little bit, they perform. Now, to your point, it's a guaranteed contract. He's not a guy that's on the bubble here, and he's another guy that I'm guessing in practice looks different than what necessarily we've seen in preseason. So he will get his opportunities, but he's going to have to play within himself. And you did make this point, and I don't think I gave it full credit earlier, that it will look different when he's playing with certain guys in this rotation. Tonight, it felt like he had to be
like, I got to be the guy. I'm back overseas.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest guy out there playing tonight.
Yep.
Right? And I think Bryn also makes up a good point. His plus-minus numbers have been solid throughout the preseason because his maturity and knowledge of the game allow him to make good decisions. Even when the shot wasn't falling, he was hustling for offensive rebounds, in which he grabbed 3 of them. That's half of his rebounds. He makes good reads. He doesn't make bad decisions. In 27 minutes tonight, he had 1 turnover and 1 personal foul, right? I like what he's been doing defensively. I like the hustle on the rebounding side of things, and more so than the self-shot creation, which is where he has been struggling. That's where he's going to make his mark on this team. And the three-point shot. 4-12 from the field. Well, guess what? 2 of 3 from deep. If he can just take that 2 of 3 from deep and limit some of those shots that he was rushing, that they're not going to need him to take, win a Book, win a Green, win a Gillespie, win a Grayson's on the court, he's going to be just fine. I just think it's also fair to look at saying, okay, he's been a little bit lackluster from what we expected.
It's been a bad preseason.
But it's also the burden of expectations of a guy that, we met here in person, we talked to, we are extremely high on. Obviously, we've done some film studies. Steven has a whole film study for him on our channel. Like, we think this guy could be a really big key to this team. But yeah, he does have competition. Rasheer, Ryan, Dylan, these are all wings that I think can play at an NBA level or have not proven it.
I need to address something. Bryn, I take back all the nice things I said earlier because much like Bruno, we don't talk about plus minus here.
We definitely talk about plus minus.
All right.
Nigel Davis, +5 tonight. Jordan Goodwin, a team leading +14.
Your king, Jared Butler, +1 with 35 points.
Here's the thing.
Assists, 7 rebounds.
Worst plus-minus on the team tonight? Khaman Maluach with a -7. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Not in preseason.
Doesn't it play into what I'm telling you?
Listen, all I'm saying, why do we have ASU comments in the chat?
Because you draw those people in.
That's a Texas Tech fan, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, all I'm saying is that plus-minus is fun to mess with you. That's all that I'm really saying. We are going to get to the bench here in a second, but do you have any final thoughts on the starters? 35 from Jared Butler, 24 from Jordan Goodwin, 17 from Khaman, 10 from Nigel, 9 from Rasheer.
No, the only thing I take from it is Khaman and Rasheer's promise, and potential. The rest of it was the 4th preseason game, and those are the kind of stats that sometimes you get when you're not playing your starter. So
yeah. Well, guess what? We are going to get into the bench. It's getting real nasty, real sicko hours. Isaiah Livers, CJ Huntley, David Duke Jr., Kobe Brea. No, we're getting into the sicko stuff here. We got so many sickos.
This is beyond sicko. This is like we're talking about
the future of the franchise in Kobe Brea?
The Valley Suns right now.
I mean, yeah, we
no
are.
No disrespect. I appreciate all that our G League team does, but that's the reality here is these are the guys that are going to fill out the Valley Suns roster, and Kobe Brea is going to be back and forth.
Yeah, and guess what? You want to know who's on the Valley Suns last year? Colin Gillespie, who's on a standard contract. Also, we have a couple injury updates to pass along about Jalen Green and Mark Williams, but we're going to do it in overtime. If you are watching on TV, the party always continues over at gophnx.com. While we get there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become a member today, become a diehard today. Diehard chat was popping during the game. Real sicko hours in the diehard Discord.
And love y'all. You're right. I love the Valley Suns. They are ballers. It's a fun experience to be out there. And I don't mean that as a knock. I just simply mean these guys that we're going to talk about will be the guys that are starting for the Valley Suns in all likelihood.
Paul Jesperson's knocking at your door. Okay. Isaiah Livers, CJ Huntley, David Duke Jr., Kobe Brea. I will say that there were a couple of flashes tonight that I enjoyed. Isaiah Livers definitely falls into the I was really excited to play basketball category. Same with Nigel Davis, 3 of 8 from the field, but 1 of 6 from 3. He did grab 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal in his 25 minutes that he played tonight. I liked some of the hustle and the activity. CJ Huntley only has 2 points, but at +12, I know, I get it. But 3 steals for him. I thought his timing on defense was good. David Duke Jr., happy birthday to you. You got hit in the nuts and scored 5 points. And Kobe Brea is the guy that people want to talk about. Espo, 25 minutes, but he was 2 of 12 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3, 5 assists and a steal. 4 points for him.
+7.
But he looked smooth. Here's the thing. He's the guy, and we said it on the watch along. He's the guy that anytime he hits a shot, it just looks so good. It just does. It just looks good.
But you only get a chance to see it twice today.
Yeah, but it looked good.
No, what I actually liked, I was impressed with his ball handling skills and the confidence he had. It was a terrible shooting night.
Sure.
This is a reason why he's a two-way guy. I mean, you don't forget how to shoot. You don't. This is one of the best shooters in the country. He'll find his rhythm, but tonight was not that night for him.
No, it wasn't. And honestly, this is a guy who hasn't been getting consistent run, obviously, in the preseason. And shooters need rhythm.
Yeah.
Shooters, like, he can walk in and he hit that mid-range shot, right? He hit a couple good shots, but he's going to get a lot of extended run in the G League, and that's going to be the real test. And then he's going to get minutes this year. He's going to get minutes this year up top.
He's not going to get minutes on this team.
Somebody's gonna be injured.
You know what?
He's
people would have to get injured for him to get any kind of significant minutes on this team.
I didn't say significant minutes.
Outside of blowout stuff, Kobe Brea is not going to see a lot of time on the court.
So I just said
for
minutes.
The Suns.
That's significant.
I think you will have games where he hits like 5-6 threes for the Valley Suns, and you're like, okay, I understand that shooting percent or that potential there, but again, pump the brakes. I know everybody wanted to be like, it's another Devin Booker at Summer League.
Hey, don't get mad at my tweet.
It's Kobe Brea, and he will have an opportunity to become who he's going to be, but part of that journey is going to be with the Valley Suns.
Yeah, numbers really consistent in college, like Bryn mentions. Bryn, why don't you call into the show?
No, look, I'm right there with Bryn. I said it. This is an outlier of a night. He's not a bad shooter, and you don't forget how to shoot.
Yeah, you don't forget how to shoot, and I think the other parts of his game, I think the handle was really encouraging tonight. Usually guys who can shoot really well, they need to be able to just do one other thing. Just one other thing. And if he could take a little bit off the dribble and have a midi game while being the type of three-point shooter he was in college, which, by the way, was the best in the country for multiple years in a row, I think there's something there. I do think he will play some minutes up here, but obviously the vast 98% of the minutes that he plays will be in the G League, which gives you a reason to go to Mullet in Tempe every night.
Well, and his distribution, could be that other thing, passing, like 5 assists tonight.
True.
Those are the kind of things that can help keep you on the court as well. Can you effectively run Ott's system and help move that ball and hit those threes when you get the opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
That's fine, and I think that's why it was so important to get a G League team, is so you can give a guy like this the minutes that he needs to find himself and learn the system, where you weren't going to be able to do that on a regular basis on the NBA side. So I think he will wind up there and be very, very good eventually as a bench piece shooter. I don't think it's right now at the moment.
Who's more likely to get NBA minutes this season, Isaiah Livers or Kobe Brea?
Kobe Brea.
You think so? I think Isaiah's got an argument.
I think.
I think he's got an argument.
Depends, yeah.
I mean, Isaiah's older. He plays a premium position. He's a wing, right? Yeah. Obviously, it's hey, whatever position is more injured is usually going to be the answer there.
Why do people think this is Brea hate? It's a numbers
dude.
game.
You're being real nasty.
It's a number.
You're being real nasty.
It is so a numbers
internet,
game
man.
with it. I think he will be a fantastic shooter for this team eventually off the bench. He has to get those minutes in the G League to get that rhythm. So
you heard it here first. Espo thinks the Suns are going 0-82 this season.
Yeah, you can put words in my mouth. That's fine.
Listen, I'm just telling you what I'm hearing.
It's tough being right. I told you exactly what was going to happen in this game. It played out exactly that way.
Did it? Did you say exactly what was going to happen?
Oh, yeah,
you said that Jordan Goodwin and Jared Butler. Did you say the Suns were going to win?
Yeah, I said they were going to come back in the second half and win.
So start saying good things about Kobe Brea.
I just did. I said he'll be a good shooter, and he'll be back.
Oh, just messing around. Well, some not so fun news to end the show on here on a Tuesday night. We'll be back at 3:00 tomorrow to talk a little bit more about this. We got some injury updates from Jordan Ott at the beginning of pre-game availability. Obviously, starting with Jalen Green, news circulating on Twitter. If you're following at PHNX_Suns, you already know this on Twitter and on Instagram. Jalen Green will miss the start of the regular season as he re-aggravated his hamstring strain in China. 10 days he will be reevaluated, which puts him on October 24th, game 2 against the Clippers. I know we talked a little bit about it in pregame. I think we touch on it here. Disappointing, but not the end of the world.
Oh, you changed your tune from
I mean, I want to see him. No, it's not the end of the world. I say don't play him, but I wish that we could see him.
I'm very much I'm the optimist, and when I look at what we hear from a coach, to me, all that is don't ask me about Jalen Green, right? That's what what he's saying. I think he could actually be back prior to that 10-day
before they say the reevaluation date.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
Sometimes a guy responds better. And the reevaluation is simply, I will tell you something in 10 days, and I will give you an update. And if there's something to tell you before, they very well may. Now, I think he misses 2 games, but a hamstring is not something you want to screw around with either. So you want to make sure that he's fully healthy. We already saw he had a setback. So you got to make sure soft tissue issues can be a problem. So you got to make sure. But I'm not. I saw some people on social panicking about it. I'm like, okay,
it does feel.
So it feels
a little bit like we're cursed. Feels a little bit. Right, yeah. Guy hasn't missed a game in almost 200 games. Shows up on the Suns, hasn't played one yet, and it's disappointing. Right, you want to be cautious. You want to keep him out. You want to make sure he's fully healthy. That is in one bucket.
It's PTSD because if
can you blame us?
No, but there's if you're not dealing with Bradley Beal, residual feelings. It's probably okay. It sucks, but if he plays 78 out of 82, we're just fine.
Sure, but you don't know that, especially with a hamstring injury, like Sean mentions. We've seen it with Book, and we've seen the hammy can be a lingering effect. And yeah, you want to let your hamstring heal for sure. That all is in one bucket of this is the right decision. Now, from a fan perspective and from a perspective of people who have been covering this team, and I'll just say from my perspective of it's been months of how will Jalen Green fit with this team. And honestly, I'm loving how this team is working. I'm loving how they're playing. And the additions of Mark Williams and Jalen Green, we did an episode about it yesterday. They're fascinating. They're tantalizing. What can Jordan Ott and this crew do with Jalen Green and Mark Williams? You're going to see Mark, hopefully, in game 1 on Wednesday against the Kings. Sounds like it. He was warming up. He was playing 5v5, some light contact today in practice. Jalen, you're going to have to wait a couple games, but again, that's a reevaluation date. I just want to see him play basketball for the Suns. And it sucks that it had to happen now. It almost would have been not better, but if you saw it and it was good, and then you missed 2 weeks in the middle of the season and then you kept going.
I think that's worse. I mean, I guess maybe middle, but I think it would have been worse
if you saw
if
in
we
the
saw
first game, yeah.
And then we're sitting here waiting 2 weeks of actual meaningful basketball that you miss out. I'm okay with where we're at. I'm not overly worried about Green, and I gotta see how it progresses. I'll make some phone calls. I'll find out from some of the people I talk to if there's any reason for concern. I'll try to find that out before tomorrow's show. But as I sit right now, I'm not overly concerned.
I thought the gorilla couldn't talk.
He can text.
No, that's fair enough. We'll keep you updated on Jalen Green, on Mark Williams, anything from practice, and we will hear Steven's thoughts tomorrow on the Phoenix Suns 113-104 preseason finale victory over the Fakers and Luka Doncic and a bunch of other starters for the Lakers as well. I know we focus on Luka, but Austin Reeves played tonight. DeAndre Ayton played tonight. I think Jacob LaRavia, who I think is going to start for them, or Marcus Smart. One of them is starting. They both played tonight as well.
He's not going to start.
Well, no, he might not even play. That dude is not good. Sorry, I hate to break it to you.
I
know you're a Dalton Connect believer.
Connect truther.
But we appreciate everybody who's tapped in throughout this entire preseason, tapped in for the watch-alongs. We got plenty more of that coming for you. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel, not just for our Suns coverage, but Cardinals. I know it's depressing, but there's no better place to be a Cardinals fan than right here. ASU football is through a very treacherous time right now. No better place to be a fan than right here. Got to give a shout-out to the Wildcats show. I hate the Wildcats, but I love those guys. They're doing a phenomenal job. Best place to be a Wildcats fan right here. And D-backs off-season time. That's where we own it. Derek, and the D-backs crew. Amazing. Don't forget about Rising. Mercury just wrapped up incredible coverage. And, of course...
Was that a backhand at like your D-backs offseason? We own it. Well, we own it in the regular season.
No, we do, but they're in the offseason.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm going to diss us. Yeah, that's smart.
I don't know.
We suck in the season,
I don't know if you and Derek have beef during the season. All right.
I just, they're going through it right now. They're going through it.
Yeah, that's right, GM Ben. You should be sorry that you traded Luka into my division. It's our friend Ben, our DLS GM.
Listen, we know.
Oh, by the way, the one show that he didn't mention is the next one that'll be happening on our network. It's Southwest Bias.
I literally was about to lead up to that. You cut me off.
I will be back.
You cut me off. I was going to say, and of course. I was going to say, and of course. And then you tried to point some beef between me and the PHNX and Derek. I was going to say, and of course.
I did it strategically.
Espo has Southwest Bias tomorrow.
Know what we're talking about tomorrow.
And every day.
12
just
hours.
Diving into the deep despairs that is Arizona sports. But we have it all covered right here on PHNX Sports. So many of you are already members, including Deborah, who's in here right now. We've absolutely dominated with members. So many who have enjoyed the Cardinals' first ever mock draft. That's members only right now. We have some Suns content that's coming your way. All the beats are going to be putting some stuff out there for members only. But automatically you get access to a free super chat every single month that's prepaid for with your membership subscription, and access to a bunch of really fun emojis, including some extra Suns emojis that we're going to be adding in there as the season starts.
We're going to do Steven's mime time
mime time.
Yeah, no sound, just Steven doing hand motions to try to explain to you what went on in the Suns game.
I'm disappointed we didn't get to talk to him about your proclamation about we would have had him twerk if we added 3 more members today.
We already know what he would have done.
He would have started twerking. He would have said, I'll do it for 2 members.
He would have given me the face like, what the hell are you talking about?
How great would have that been if we just kept him on and we started just like saying things like that? Like Steven said that he was going to twerk if we had another member, and we just like kept him in that little box on the screen. Sean says, better learn ASL, people. We'll get it figured out.
American Sign Language for those of you that aren't familiar.
We promise. Preseason for all of us. Our first regular season pre- and post-game show, of course, will be just a little bit different. We'll have that. We'll have updates from practice and everything tomorrow. But, of course, until then, you can follow the show at PHNX_Suns. That's on Twitter, and that is on Instagram as well. You can follow the Freckled Mamba behind the Mac, making all the magic happen at Freckled Mamba. Of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. You follow me at ERIKRUBY. And remember,
ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.